November began with All Saints, one of the principal feasts of the church year, where we not only remember those who have died in the past year, but really celebrate all the saints of all times, including those that are still with us, and indeed the way that we express our faith in our own lives. So November begins with that, and then all through the month, we've been sort of wrapping up the liturgical year as the church year begins in Advent. And so we've been kind of having a nice ending, a finale to the church year, thinking about gratitude, our response to the gifts that we have been given in life through our stewardship, of course, the season of Thanksgiving, and now this final Sunday in the church year, we're really focusing on our community and what it means to be a body of believers, a family here at St. John's Cathedral. And so we'll be singing really unifying, wonderful hymns that we love to sing. The choir will have some music that will really kind of sum up all of the experience that we have together, and the scriptures and the prayers that we have, all really thinking about what a special treasure we have as a body of believers here at St. John's. There are a few texts that express that unity of community better than hymn 529. In Christ there is no east nor west, in him nor south or north, but one great fellowship of love throughout the whole wide earth. It's funny, this text and tune have a little bit of a mysterious origin. Oftentimes we hear it being cited as a spiritual, something that came from the slave experience here in the United States. And yet there are some very clear antecedents that the text and maybe even the tune originated in England. So we're not exactly sure what all of the origins are of this hymn. But we do know that it does express our faith so extremely well. And it's also just a great tune to sing. It's a lot of fun to have that as part of our service. At the offertory, the choir will be singing a setting of Psalm 100, the Jubilate Deo. And this is something that is appointed for morning prayer. So if you come to morning prayer in the chapel on weekday mornings, it's entirely likely that you'll say the words of the Jubilate Deo. Oh, be joyful in the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Again, thinking about how we are all bound together in our ministry and in our worship. This setting is by Benjamin Britten, and it has a little bit of an interesting history. As I mentioned, the Jubilate Deo and the Venite are both, and the Te Deum are really the fixtures of morning prayer. And so early in Britten's career, when he was in his 20s, he wrote musical settings of the Jubilate Deo and the Te Deum. And for reasons that we don't know, he was not happy with the setting of the Jubilate Deo, and he sort of suppressed it. In fact, he thought that he had destroyed all of the copies of it. But late in his career, the prince, Elizabeth's husband, asked him to write another setting of the Jubilate Deo so that they could have these two canticles sung at morning prayer at the Royal Chapel at St. George's in Windsor. And so Britten, late in life, composed this setting that still sounds very much like it fits music that he wrote 50 years earlier. It's very lively and spriteful, and it has this dancing figuration in the organ. As the choir comes in with these strong statements of being joyful. And the organ continues to dance all around that as they move through the verses of that psalm. Another text that's very close to this theme of community is Charles Wesley's beautiful hymn, Love Divine, All Loves Excelling. And the choir will be singing a setting of this by the American composer Ned Rorem. And this is a very interesting and harmonically rich setting of these very familiar words. So we hope that you will join us and be part of our community as we worship together this Sunday.